In today's video we will be making this beautiful lacy stitch that can be used for a variety of projects. Summer blouses, beach covers, scarves, shawls, a lacy table runner, and lots of other things. For the purpose of this tutorial I will be using Caron Simply Soft yarn and a hook size G 4.5 mm. But I believe this stitch will look even better if made with lighter yarns or even crochet thread. As many of you know, I have an Etsy shop where I sell my crochet patterns, and in each one of my video tutorials I choose a comment at random, and the person who left me that comment receives a pattern of their choice from my Etsy shop. I will post the name of the winner of this giveaway in the description box below. Please send me an email to claim your pattern. Thank you. Alright, let's start working on this stitch. There are 4 repeating rows in the pattern, and I would say the skill level is advanced beginner. The multiple is 10 plus 5, and for my sample I will start with chain 45. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here I have 45 chains and I'm ready to start my first row. I will be working into the 10th chain from the hook. We never count the chain on the hook, we always start counting from the next chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And into this chain I make a double crochet, then 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the same chain I make another double crochet. Next I make 2 chains, 1, 2, and I skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next chain I make a double crochet. And now my pattern begins to repeat. I make 2 chains, 1, 2, I skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next chain I make a double crochet, 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the same chain I make another double crochet. Then I make 2 chains, 1, 2, and I skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next chain I make a double crochet. And again, 2 chains, 1, 2, skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, into the 5th chain I make a double crochet, 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and another double crochet. Then 2 chains, 1, 2, skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a double crochet. And I continue crocheting this way until the end of this row. So here I finished the first row and I'm ready to start the next one. I make 1 chain and turn, and now into the next chain 2 space I make 2 single crochets, 1, 2. Then into the next chain 4 space I will make 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then into the next chain 2 space I make 2 single crochets, 1, 2. Now I'm going to skip this double crochet and the pattern begins to repeat. Into the next chain 2 space I make 2 single crochets, 1, 2. Then I make 5 single crochets into the next chain 4 space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next chain 2 space I make 2 single crochets. And that's how I continue crocheting this row. I end this row with 2 single crochets into this last chain space. So 1 and 2. And my second row is now finished. I start row 3 with 3 chains and turn. Next I'm going to skip 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and into the next single crochet I work a puff stitch. So yarn over, I insert the hook and draw up a loop. Yarn over, I insert the hook and draw up a loop, and one more time yarn over, insert the hook and draw up a loop. So now I have 6 loops and this chain on the hook. So I'm going to do yarn over and draw it through the 6 loops. Now I have 2 on the hook, yarn over, and I draw through both of them. Next I make a puff stitch into each of the next 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. And one more time, 1, 2, 3. So here I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 puff stitches. Next I skip 1 single crochet, and into the next single crochet I make a double crochet. So now I have a double crochet right above the double crochet in row 1. And now the pattern begins to repeat. I'm going to skip 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and I will work a puff stitch into each of the next 5 single crochets. So here is my first puff stitch. My second puff stitch. Third, and here I have 5 puff stitches. Now again I skip 1 single crochet and make a double crochet into the next double crochet. And again the pattern begins to repeat, and I continue crocheting this way until the end of this row. And at the end of the row I skip 1 single crochet and make a double crochet into the last single crochet. And the third row is now finished. I start my row 4 with 1 chain and turn, and now I will make a single crochet in top of the very first double crochet. Next I make 1 chain and I make a single crochet in top of the next puff stitch. Then again 1 chain and a single crochet in top of the puff stitch. 1 chain and a single crochet. 1 chain and a single crochet. 1 chain and a single crochet. Next I make 1 chain and I skip the next double crochet and I make a single crochet in top of the next puff stitch. And now the pattern repeats. Chain 1 and a single crochet. Chain 1 and a single crochet. Chain 1, single crochet, and so on. Again I make 1 chain and I skip the double crochet, and I continue crocheting this way until the end of this row. And at the end of the row I make 1 chain and I end with a single crochet in top of this turning chain 3. And my row 4 is now finished. I start row 5 with 5 chains and turn. 3 of these chains will count as a double crochet and 2 chains will count as chain 2 space. Next I'm going to skip 4 single crochets, starting with the very first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then into the next chain 1 space over here I will make a double crochet, 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the same chain 1 space another double crochet. Next I make 2 chains, 1, 2, and I skip 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and into the next chain 1 space over here I make a double crochet. Next I make 2 chains, 1, 2, and I skip 3 single crochets. Over here in the beginning I skipped 4 single crochets because of this last single crochet, but when the pattern repeats I only skip 3 single crochets, so 1, 2, 3, and into the next chain 1 space I make a double crochet, 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and another double crochet. And if you look carefully over here you will see that this chain 1 space where this double crochet, chain 4 and double crochet were made is exactly above the puff stitch, the middle puff stitch of this row, and the same over here, it's exactly above the puff stitch. So next 2 chains, 1, 2, and I skip 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and into the next chain 1 space I make a double crochet. And now the pattern begins to repeat. 2 chains, I skip 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and I make a double crochet, 4 chains, and a double crochet. Then 2 chains, 1, 2, I skip 2 single crochets and make a double crochet. And I continue crocheting this way until the end of this row. And I end this row with a double crochet into the last single crochet. And my row 5 is finished. And now the pattern begins to repeat from row 2. I make 1 chain and turn, and then I make 2 single crochets into the next chain 2 space, 1, 2, and into the next chain 4 space I make 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then into the next chain 2 space 2 single crochets, 1, 2. So basically the pattern begins to repeat from this point. And here I repeated the pattern several times, and you can see how beautiful and lacy it looks. It will make a very beautiful lacy scarf.